Hello, I'm here at a rest area slash picnic area along a major highway in eastern Texas. Um, I'm between Shreveport and Dallas. I'm just outside of Mineola. I'm in my car at a picnic area slash rest area, and I'm here to talk about why America is the way it is. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I remember the singer, I remember the singer Ariana Grande. I can't pronounce her name. I guess I'll try again. Ariana Grande. Oh, there I go. Oh, I'm here to talk about Ariana Grande. She's a singer. She's not a very good singer. She's one of these no talented, crappy singers that can't sing worth a flick, and she has no talent. I remember she attended Aretha Franklin's funeral, and I think she sang one of Aretha Franklin's songs. I don't remember what the song that she one of the songs that she sang from her, and I think after she got done performing, a pastor, I don't know what his name is, it was a pastor, a preacher. Yeah, the funeral was held at some AME church, somewhere here in America. I don't know where it was held at. I don't remember. The preacher got up and approached Ariana Grande, and he put his arm around her, and he was just being, well, I guess he was just being friendly to her. I guess he's being nice, I mean, I went to church, and pastors did this in the past. I remember this, and Ariana Grande was like just shocked at this guy. She turned on him like he was gonna attack her, and she just pulled away from him. And this pastor was nothing more than a man in his 60s. He was a very old guy. And Ariana Grande, she was young. She was in her 20s, and her boyfriend saw this and was shocked, and he got up. He said this like he was gonna get up and come to her rescue. And I think all this got a big backlash. I mean, the people in the mainstream media dubbed this pastor as a sexual predator or a pedophile. I don't know. It was just crazy. Like, and this old guy was demonized. And this old guy, the pastor, he defended himself, and he said this: "Well, well, I'm a pastor, and I'm just showing love for people. I'm a good person. I'm a good person of God, and I'm a church going person." And a lot of people just bashed the guy. And he also said that when he heard Ariana Grande's name, he said it was a Mexican dish at Taco Bell, and people just got offended. And and he also said that she was Mexican, and and the people who were offended by it said that she is of Italian descent. She's Italian. And the poor pastor was just badgered and just chewed all over. Like, it was just crazy. And, I don't know, like, and on top of all of this, Ariana Grande dressed provocative. I mean, she didn't dress like formal and respectful for Aretha Franklin's funeral. I mean, she dressed in the most skimpiest outfit known to man. Like, she just dressed up like a hooker, a slut. I guess the pastor, I guess he went up and just put his arm around her in a friendly, kind way, and I guess, well, she felt that he was like offensive and dangerous, like towards her and sexual towards her, I guess. And I don't care. I think I'm gonna get a dislike on this video. I really don't care. I mean, I mean, to me, it just shows that just how paranoid and antisocial and just defensive and paranoid women in America are. You know, the women here are just they're just awful. They're just downright awful. They're just terrible. And you can't approach them. You can't talk to them. You can't tell them how beautiful they are. You can't give them a compliment. I mean, they just take it as, I mean, they don't. Some of them won't care. Some of them just view you as a creep and a weirdo and a pervert, and they just don't want to have anything to do with you. And they'll just some will just give you dirty looks. Some just look at you like you're on drugs, like you're nuts. And that's why guys like me in America are single, because of how these women are. And it's just sad. Like Winston Wu says, like there's more single men in America than single women. I also want to talk about mental health. Yeah, America is known as a country that has the highest rate of mental illness in the world, and you have a 50-50 chance of developing a mental illness and just go nuts because of the toxic, antisocial, unfriendly society that America possesses. I mean, more and more people are seeing therapists and taking antidepressants and pills to help them compensate with their problem, which is the society, the people, and the food. It just alters their brain chemistry and just make them feel drowsy when they take this false medication that won't help them at all. And people in America seeing therapists, it's just insane. It's crazy. And I mean, if you go overseas, like to a country like the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, people don't see therapists at all. They have people to talk. They have friends and family to talk to who have a brain, which doesn't exist here in America. So you gotta see a therapist. And I saw a gang of therapists. I saw a lot of them. And I saw some when I was younger. And all these therapists I saw never helped me with my problem at all. I mean, if I tell them what is really wrong with me, they'll ignore me and won't care and just believe what they want to believe. And it's just sad. Like, I'm probably going to end up seeing a therapist in the future. And it's just so crazy and messed up, and it's just not right. Okay, I want to talk about the food. I mean, we all know that the food is laced with chemicals, GMOs, genuine modified organisms, whatever you call them. I mean, the food here in America is just very, very unhealthy. I mean, you'll gain a lot of weight, you'll get sick, and develop develop health problems. On top of that, And on top of that, if you go to foreign countries, you go and eat. If you eat the food in foreign countries, the food there is healthier. I mean, you won't gain weight. You won't. I mean, you won't develop a health problem. You won't gain weight, and you won't get sick. You will be healthy. You'll be thin, and plus you walk more. And I noticed when I was in Belgium, I saw a lot. I saw a lot of bicycles all over the place. I saw a bicycle caddy that had tons and tons and tons of bicycles. And I saw people riding around in bicycles. I saw women in dresses riding a bicycle. I saw old people riding a bicycle. I mean, it just shows me that, I mean, that country is, I didn't know what part of Belgium I was. I think I was in the northern part of it, and went there on a cruise ship. After I left the UK, there was just, there was just lots and lots and lots of people riding bicycles. And the transportation is really good. I remember I got off the ship in Belgium. I got on this bus, and the bus drove from the cruise ship all the way to the end of the dock, and it stopped, and everybody had to get off and walk. And I think my sister didn't like it. She said, "Oh, this bus ride sucks." Come to find out, it's a country where you can walk more, you can ride a bicycle, and you can take public transportation. And going back to riding a bicycle and walking. And I mean, when I walked through this city in Belgium, I mean, it was good exercise. Met an old guy who ran a shop there. He was old, fat, and overweight, and he was really nice. And he walked up to me, my mom, my dad, and my sister, and he asked me, did I want this sweet celery stick that he had, and I said, no, thank you. And he wanted to talk to us. I mean, and that's amazing. Like, I mean, you won't get that here. I mean, nobody gonna come up to you and talk to you at all. So yeah, going back to the food here. Going back to the food here in America, the food is very, very unhealthy, and it's not good for you. And I want to talk about the healthcare here in America. I mean, we all know the United States is the only country that doesn't have a universal healthcare system plan. I mean, we all know this. I mean, it's the only country that has a healthcare system that's based on profit, a for-profit healthcare system that's full of bureaucracy, and just a system that's based on money. I mean, and it's like this. I mean, the healthcare in this country is good for people who are wealthy and who have a lot of money. But if you're poor and you don't have a lot of money, you're in trouble. I mean, you're gonna be paying out of the pocket. I mean, you're gonna rack up medical bills, and you're gonna get bankrupt by these medical bills. And a lot of people like lose their homes and what they have over these medical bills. getting a ride in an ambulance to a hospital slash emergency room is just crazy. It's crazy to me. Like, why need to get a bill just to ride to the emergency room in an ambulance? I mean, people from foreign countries look at this. I mean, they're just shocked and dumbfounded, and they just can't wrap their heads around this. And a lot of them are angry and just disgusted. I mean, And also, so also tied in with the bad food here. These corporations that push all this food that's laced with sugar and GMOs and all kinds of chemicals, all kinds of junk in the food. They just profit. They just profit off of people's destroyed health, and they just profit and just get rich. And same thing with the healthcare system. People in the healthcare industry just get rich off of people's sickness and suffering and the bills that they give them. And it's just so messed up. And it's crazy, you know. In countries like Canada and the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand, countries that have a different form or version of single payer healthcare. They don't have to worry about going bankrupt. Their healthcare system is national. They don't have to worry about medical bills. They're covered. Their medication is cheaper. Their healthcare is free. And it comes out of their tax dollars. They just pay taxes for their healthcare, and they don't have to worry about a thing. I know universal health care. I know a single payer healthcare system isn't perfect, but it works, and it's better than the healthcare system that currently exists here in the United States. Okay. Also, I remember when I worked at TJ Maxx in Longview, Texas, and I saw. I worked with this girl. Her name is Renee. Her name is Renee McKinley. Well, she got married to some guy, so her name is Renee Howard. Okay. And then I was just, she was annoying. She talked a lot. I wrote down on a piece of paper that stating that Renee looked good in a pair of Levi's. So I wrote down. I wrote that down on a piece of paper. And I left it on the table in the break room. I was called by my boss. My boss showed her. She's a woman. She showed the note that I written down, and she told me, "Do you know who written this note down?" And some told me that they have this sexual harassment thing going on, and it wasn't sexual and all. I say that to I say that to everybody. I'll say it to myself. I'll say I look good in a pair of Levi's or Wrangler jeans, but I don't like Wrangler jeans, I don't look good in them, I think they're crappy pair of jeans, I just lied and said I didn't write the note because I was gonna get nailed for sexual harassment or something like sexual harassment. And I don't talk about this, when you're working in the workplace in America, you're just walking on eggshells. Especially if you're a guy, you're a guy in the workplace and you're just walking on eggshells. If you say something that's offensive and politically correct and not right, you could lose your job or get sued for sexual harassment or something like this. And I have the uttermost respect for women. I respect both men and women. Okay? I don't care if you're a man or a woman. To me, you're nothing more than a human being. You're a person. You should be treated like a human being. But, it's crazy. If I tell a woman she look good, she looks nice in a pair of jeans, or I like those pair of jeans that you're wearing. She'll get angry and offended and chew me out about it. And deem what I said to her is wrong, and I should be punished for it. And this happened to me. And it's just disgusting to me. Yeah. And also, I want to talk about, you know, the economy, how rigged and how broken it is. I mean, we all know, or some of you know that, the minimum wage here in America is frozen and stuck at $7.25, and the taxes for the average poor person is very high, and the taxes for the very wealthy are low. I mean, the wealthy pay little to no taxes at all. And the tax system is rigged and it's broken, and it's in favor of the wealthy. And, the conservatives, they're all for they're all for keeping taxes low for rich people and keeping taxes very high for poor people, which is not right. And, there's a lot of poor people here in America are struggling, and they're suffering, they're struggling. I mean, they're sitting at the table, they're struggling to pay the bills. It's just sad, and I'm poor and I'm feeling this as well. But and just it's just gonna be like this forever, and these so-called justice Democrats, they're under the wing of Kyle Kalinske of Secular Talk, and Cenk Uygur of TYT, the Young Turks. I mean, I don't know. They talk about the problems here in America, and they're just like everybody else in America. They're antisocial, they're cliquish, they're in the bubble, they're in groups, and throw in Anna Kasparian, throw her into the mix, and she's part of TYT, and she's like this as well. So yeah. So nothing's going to improve on this, the tax system and all. And on top of that, you got a lot of low-wage jobs. And I live in Texas. People say that Texas is a job-creating machine and it creates a lot of jobs. But the truth is, Texas creates a lot of low-wage jobs. Lots of them. And they're under the $7.25 minimum wage hike as every other state in America. I don't know, different states have different types of minimum wages, but yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to get all political and all, but I'm just giving my thoughts on why America is the way it is. I heard that it's cheaper to live overseas. Living overseas is cheap. Living in a foreign country, some foreign countries overseas are cheaper. The cost of living is cheaper. The food is healthier. You won't get sick. You won't gain any weight. The women are better. The women are feminine. I mean, if you go compliment a woman on how she looks and compliment on the clothes that she wears, she will comically giggle and blush, and she'll be happy. And it'll just put a smile on her face. And yeah, and you will form friendships with people. I mean, if you're alone in a restaurant and you see some people sitting at the table, if you go up and approach these people, I mean, they'll allow you to sit with them, and they'll introduce themselves, and you would just start up a conversation with them. Yeah, yeah, and you won't be alone at all. You won't be alone at all. You know, like I said in the previous video, I mean, if that poor guy who wanted to meet this 12-year-old boy at a McDonald's on To Catch a Predator, and Chris Hansen set him up and tricked him into thinking that he was going to meet a 12-year-old boy at a McDonald's. I mean, if you heard if Winston Wu's Happier Abroad website existed, and if he find out about Winston's message, he would go on overseas and it would be happy. I mean, there will be no need for him to sink so low in the meeting a 12-year-old boy and meeting a 12-year-old boy, and he will meet a woman who's younger, sweet, petite, and feminine, who's in her 20s. I mean, he'll be happy. I mean, he'll find a woman. He'll find the woman of his dreams, you know. And he won't be stuck. He won't be stuck in the U.S. Matrix. And you know, the United States is just this big, huge prison-like, stiff, robotic matrix bubble. I mean, and I see this. I mean, I remember I went to a Burger King, and I ordered a Whopper meal combo, and when I approached the drive-through, this girl at the drive-through who was an employee there told me the price, and she asked me how I was doing. And I said I'm doing fine, but I changed my mind. And I couldn't lie to her. I told her this: I'm not doing so well. And when I said that, she just laughed and just didn't care. And and also when I was going to school, I mean, I was in this job program, and I'm learning what it was a job program for teenagers that taught you what it was like to work at a job. And I was picked on by two black girls. Two of them. One asked me a lot of questions. The other threw ice cubes at me. And when I went to fill out a paper, one went and grabbed a pencil and just wrote stuff down on the test, on this test I was given, something that I should be doing myself. And I got ice cubes thrown at me. I was picked on, and one asked me a lot of questions. And all this because I accidentally pulled a fire alarm and just dusted around this fire alarm, and it was an accident. And I was just yelled at by this ignorant black woman. And I don't want to say this, African Americans here in America, I know they're dealing with a lot of racism and all, but some of them are ignorant. Some just like to tear each other down and call each other names like punk bitch and fuck that nigga, and this nigga ain't shit, and all of this. And I went through this at a Walmart that I used to work at in the ghetto part in the ghetto part of this city. I was picked on. I also was picked on by Hispanic people and white people, growing up. I was never picked on. Well, I was never picked on when I lived in when I lived in Southern California. But when I got here to East Texas, I was picked on by white, black, and Hispanic people. I mean, the whites and the blacks were being picked on by them. The kids at this school I used to go to. It was worse. It was really, really worse. And I had to, and my parents and the parents and the and my parents and the principal had to had to have me go to another school, and another school that, and the school that I went to get away from the school that I was being picked on really badly. It was nothing more than a prison. I mean, it wasn't like a regular school. I mean, you just sat in a desk, you stared at a wall, you had a divider that divided you from your neighbor, and you just did work out of a folder. And if you got one of the assignments wrong, you have to redo it. But if you got it right, you have to redo it at all. And I never learned a thing. And I remember this teacher at this place. Her name is Laura Langham. And she spoke French, and she was a bitch. She smarted off, she talked down to the students. She was just a disrespectful bitch with an attitude. And and also there was a teacher, that we all know that we all know that the Western culture here in America teaches us to blame ourselves and not the society and the people and the food that make us be the way that we are, make us do the wrong things, make us do things that we will regret. Well, yeah. I remember I used to get in trouble a lot, and this teacher kind of put this on me. And I'm getting the same thing from my father. And that's why and he promoted me to see all these therapists. I mean, I'm being forced into this by him. Which I don't want to do. But if I explain myself and tell my problems, what's wrong with me, I'll be ignored. And all I have to do is just believe everything the therapist / shrink says, and take these pills to make me feel better. And the truth is, these pills are going to make me drowsy, and they're going to alter my brain chemistry, which is crazy. So yeah, it's just I wish I could get out of America. I wish I could get out of the US Matrix bubble, but I can't. I got out of the box. I mean, when I got out of the box, I mean, my dad saw that there was something wrong with me, and he said I was doing weird stuff, which I wasn't. I mean, what I was doing, I was exercising, staying in shape, going outside, walking around, jogging. I guess walking around outside, on the road or into another neighborhood that's next door to the neighborhood that I live in, is considered weird because of racism, by white people there. They'll accuse me of trying to attack their children or kidnap them, break into their homes and harassing them, and some cop will come by and arrest me and take me to jail and throw me in a jail cell for no reason at all. I guess I'm doing weird stuff. Or I don't know what the weird things that my dad said I was doing, but and the fact is, it's the food that I'm eating, it's the people the society that's making me do these things. I guess this will all come to an end if I get killed, which is just downright sick. Oh, I also want to say this. We all know that in America that America has the highest prison population. I mean, we got these for-profit prison systems that make money off of prison labor, and nearly every citizen that lives in America is in prison. Yeah, and there's way too many laws here in this country. This country is so uptight, and it's just filled to the brim with laws. Too many laws. I mean, I'm here in Texas, and the laws here don't make any sense, and they're unfair, and they're backwards. And if you go to a country, I guess like Mexico or other countries, they have less laws. And I know it's like, I know it's like, I know it's like here in America, there's too many laws here, and people want to jump up and down and say that we have freedom. I mean, how you gonna have freedom if you live in a country with way too many laws? How you gonna have freedom if you can't meet women, flirt with them, talk to them, or talk to total strangers? You don't have the freedom to meet people in this country. So how you gonna be free and you can't meet people, and you just in this country, and it just feels like you're in prison? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. And Winston Wu pointed this out, and I heard him say this, and I saw this, and he's right. It doesn't, and he's right. It doesn't make any sense to boast about we're a free country, we're free, and you're not free. I don't feel free here at all. At all. I mean, I'm not free here. Yeah, and I mean, and there's another mass shooting around the corner. I mean, I haven't heard any mass shootings lately, but I mean, another one's gonna happen because we just got a toxic, upside down, loop sided, broken, messed up society, and it flexed, and it's inflected, and it's on the people, and the people display this, and they drive someone to grab a gun and just go on mass shootings and kill a lot of innocent people, then kill themselves. And it's just sick, and it's sad. Very, very sick and sad. I mean, I watched a video of Nicholas Cruz. I mean, the mass shooter in the Parkland, in a Parkland, Florida high school shooting, Stoneman Douglas High, and he was getting interrogated by a police officer. This police officer was just on him, was asking him questions left and right, and I think he said that voices in his head made him do this, and he just broke down and started crying, and his brother came in and hugged him. And what I see is, this guy was alone. He had no one to talk to. I mean, people in high school, the high school that he went to, people were antisocial, cliquish. They were in groups. And and it just got to him. He just grabbed a gun and started shooting and killing all these people. And then you got these students. One of them is the son of an FBI agent. And you got this Mexican girl who shaved her hair. I mean, she like a boy. I mean, she's a butch bitch dyke. And she talk about BS this and BS that. I mean, it's just sickening. These people just don't have a clue, and they're never gonna have a clue at all. At all. You know. Eh. I'm not gonna commit suicide. I'm not gonna go and kill people with a gun. I just want to get out of this country because this country just gonna just tear me down and just bring out the worst in me. And that's all it's gonna do to me. And and I hear my mother and father talking about they're old and they're gonna die and they're not gonna be here that long and they're gonna be with Jesus and God. And I hear this all the time, and they're in a bubble and they're in the bubble and they don't have a clue about anything. And yeah, I know we're all gonna die one day, and we are. But I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about living life till I can't live it anymore. But I want to talk about here in the United States. I mean, the United States is the Saudi Arabia of churches. I mean, there's churches everywhere. I mean, I live here in Texas. There's a slew of churches, like tons and tons and tons of churches. If you go to one of the largest cities in Texas, I say like Dallas, Houston, or San Antonio, like you see a bunch of churches. A bunch of churches, and these religious people, they're very creepy and weird, and and I see this, like they use Christianity in the church, to cover up their wrongdoings. Okay, they'll go and do something wrong to someone, they'll screw someone and do something just despicable to someone. Then they turn around and they grab a book with Holy Bible printed on the front and quote Bible scriptures and jump up and down and say, "Thank you, Jesus, oh Lord." And those people are just a bunch of bullshitters, and George Bush and Rick Perry and Greg Abbott and Louis Gohmert, they're one of them. Yeah, and yeah, it's I know it's about Winston Wu. He stated that he turned to religion, and he's using religion in a positive way to talk about his message on Happier Abroad. Unlike the people here who use it to cover up their BS. Yeah. Yeah. Well. I think that's about it. I think that's all I gotta say. Not much to talk about. I mean, if you're unemployed or you're in the Matrix bubble, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna end this video by saying this. This is the new Manchester saying this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Oh yeah, I want to add in one more thing. I noticed that I noticed that, like, black people, African Americans here in America, they I mean they can't think for themselves. They don't think outside of the box. And I think a lot of black people in America should think outside of the box, and stop treating each other like dirt, and have respect and unity have respect for one another and have unity. And if they do that, they can end shooting of young black men being shot here in America by cops, and a lot of things that are against them. I'm just saying, but it's just a dream, but it's not gonna happen. Not just black people in America. It should be like everybody should have unity here in this country. If everybody has unity in this country, and every poor person in America had a lot of confidence, intelligent, and healthy. It's like this: a healthy, educated, confident society is a society that's hard to govern, and it will create the removal of a person who's running the country, who is just destroying this country and just ruining the lives of poor people and just making them suffer. But if there is a unhealthy, uneducated, and unconfident society, is a weak society, and that society that society is whipped and is shackled in chains and handcuffs, and it's and that's the society that makes up the United States. But I think as Winston Wu wants to say this, why stay in a country and try to win a losing fight? You're going to lose. You're not going to win, and you're not going to succeed. So you might as well just get off the sinking ship that is America and just go overseas. And I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that, and that's good. I'm gonna go over. I think I'd be better overseas than here. What's the point staying here and fighting and trying to change something, and nothing's not gonna happen? People are not gonna unite. People hate each other. They talk down to one another. They don't care about one another. That society is nothing more than a sinking ship. And I might as well just get off the sinking ship and leave. So that's what I want to add to my video. And oh yeah, by the way, if you like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, and subscribe. So I'm going to get out of here. All right, see you later. Take care. Bye.